Okay, here we go. That's what I want. So, networking, what is it all about? It's about relationships, right? Relationships are the ties that bind us and lead to a fulfilling personal and professional life. There is little that can be accomplished in life without relationships. You know, I have always been the type of person way back when I used to say, I don't need nobody. That used to be my motto. I used to be by myself a lot. And there was one time when I had a flat tire. It was like 12 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know where I was going. I don't know where I was going. And I remember I called my sister for help. I told the story before. I called my sister. I said, I got a flat tire. I'm on the side of the road. I need help. You know what she said to me? She said, Kel, my family called me Kel. She said, you never need help. This was about 15 years ago. I never forgot that because I had to learn that because I kept to myself and I didn't reach out and I was, call myself an introvert and all those things that we call, I'm private, I'm introverted. I don't want to talk to people. I don't like to be bothered. When I needed someone, they didn't even believe me. They didn't believe me. So I learned from that. And I want you all, don't be like me. I want you to learn from that because I know that a lot of us are like that. We like to stay private. We don't want to get on social media. We don't want to create a LinkedIn profile. We don't want to share with nobody. We don't want to connect with anybody. We don't want to post anything. We don't want to comment. But I'm telling you, this is the key, y'all. And I'm going to show you how this works. So let's move on. Now, remember, I just said that relationships are what? They are the ties that bind us and lead to a fulfilling personal and professional life. There is little that can be accomplished. Hear me, y'all. There is little that can be accomplished in life without relationships. So they are the ties that bind us. So let's look at these ties. Let's look at these ties. Check this out.
Would tell me that they found their job through someone they knew. I would say to them, oh, so you found the job through a friend. And over again, people would correct me and say, no, not a friend, just an acquaintance. When you hang around with your best friends, they tend to know each other and you form a clique with them. And their best friends are kind of the same as your best friends. So if you want new information, if you want to be clued in on the latest styles or trends or information, then you want to go to your weak ties, your seventh and eighth best friends. They're in different circles from your circle, and they connect you to those other circles. In a sense, they are your windows on the world. Most of the people who changed jobs in my study were changing them voluntarily. So that almost never happens unless people think the new job is a better job. So if they really wanted information about new jobs, about jobs they weren't going to hear about any other way, they were finding it through acquaintances and not through their close friends. Would tell me that they found their job.
So y'all heard what he said, right? You heard what he said. Let's keep going and we'll talk about this. Let's keep going. So, let me get back here. My bad. These are the ties that bind us. This is what we're talking about, the ties. And you heard what he said, that most of the time, your weak ties are how you're able to elevate professionally, right? He spoke specifically about elevating professionally. Whether you're looking for a job or you're inside, you're currently working and you want to elevate or you want to do something different. There's a difference between your weak ties and your strong ties. And so we'll talk about that. Let's talk about that. Your strong ties are very familiar and constant, and there's constant interaction. So when we talk about a strong tie, they are the people you know very well, and they tend to know each other. Those within they are those that are within your inner circle, and they tend to know the same things that you do. So your strong ties, like the gentleman was just saying, right? You have a difference between your strong and your weak ties. We're talking about relationships here. These are your relatives. These are your best friends who you went to high school with or college with. You've known them for a long time. You're your close friends, your inner circle, right? People you speak with on a regular basis. These are your strong ties. Now, what did he say, though? Y'all remember what he said? He said, but to elevate, right, or to find another opportunity, what he was saying is not your strong ties. And the reason behind this is that your relatives, your close friends, your best friends, you're from high school, from college, the people you speak with, your teammates that you work with day in and day out, when it comes to information and you wanting to know certain things, they're going to know what you know. because you all are in an inner circle together. So more than likely, you'll get that email about a new executive VP role. You'll get that email not once, not twice, but 3 times because of your inner circle and because of the people you surround yourself with. This is called a strong tie. Let's go on. Weak ties. These are the people that you know the least and can help you the most. Who are they? They may be a friend of a friend. It could be a colleague in another state. You might not know them as well. They may not be as well known, and you might not be that comfortable with them. You may not have regular contact with them, but you develop and continually use a method to contact and remain connected to them. This is how you connect weak ties. And the information within your weak tie network circulates within groups as opposed to between groups. So let me break that down. So your weak ties could be, I know Tivia, right? Tivia knows Robin, but maybe I don't know Robin. So that's a weak tie. So it's a friend of a friend. That's a weak tie. But you know what? Robin knows the VP of sales, and I've been looking for a VP of sales role. And Tivia said, you know what? Let me check with Robin, Kelly. You know, she might know something because she works for Salesforce. She might know something, but I don't know Robin like that. But that's a weak tie. And I'm not going to get that same information from my inner circle, from my best friend, from my close friend, from my colleagues that I work with every day, because I already know that information because we hit each other up all the time. We're in a group chat together. I already know the information. But when I'm reaching out to Tivia, we don't talk all the time. I see her every Tuesday for about an hour. But I'm like, hey, Tivia, if you hear of anything, you know what? I'm looking for a VP of sales role. I got to get out of working over here. I got to go. All right, I'll let you know. And I've been asking my friends. I've been hitting up my contacts on my phone. I've been putting it on my social media. And the people that say they're close to me, I've been telling my aunt, my uncle, my cousin, my sister, my nephew, my niece, and they ain't said nothing. The same information. So this is a weak tie. Weak ties are the people that you know the least, just like the guy just said, they can help you the most. I want you to look at this example, and I want y'all to tell me in the chat. I can't see the chat, but I want you to write in the chat. What would you say? Is this a weak or strong tie that Kim has? Is this a weak or strong tie that Kim has? Based off of what we just shared, what you heard that guy say, does Kim have a weak or strong tie? What is her network? Y'all let me know in the chat. A weak or strong network? And then when we look at Kanan, you see how everyone's connected here on Kanan's network. Is this a weak connection or is this a strong connection? Which one? So let me know. What is Kim? What did y'all put for Kim? Weak or strong? And then let me know. Put Kanan, weak or strong, and I'll check it when I look at the comments. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So as you can see, let me just point out here. You see Kim, right? You see Kim. She's standing here, and the 3 people. Let's say it's Tivia and Robin and Stacy. Tivia, Robin, and Stacy don't know each other, but we have let's say Jim just standing here. Jim, and then there's Tivia, Robin, and Stacy. Robbie and Stacy and Tivia don't know each other, but Jim knows 3 of them separately. And we look at Kanan. You see Jim have Tivia and Robin, and they're all connected some kind of way. So weak or strong tie? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So have you ever heard the term 6 degrees of separation? Have y'all heard that term? It's also a movie. Did y'all see that? Have you heard of the 6 degrees of separation? What this means is that 6 degrees of separation is a theory. The idea is that every person in the world, there's billions of people in the world. There's billions, y'all. And they're connected to every other person in the world by a chain of family members, friends, or acquaintances. That number is no more than 5. That means that over here on IG, between me, Carla, Coco, Jocelyn, and Love Your Neighbor, we know one of us, we know someone. All of us together, between all of us, one of us knows someone that we all know. 6 degrees of separation, y'all. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. So if you want to get to that VP of sales role, you're 5 people away. To break it down, that's what this means. If you want to get to that role, if you want to go here, if you want to do this, you're 5 people away. 6 degrees of separation. Let's talk about the different types of networks. And now we're getting into the meat of this. Y'all ready? Now we're getting to the meat of this. There are 3 types of networks. We're going to break these down. Now get ready. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to break these down. Types of networks. There's 3. There's a compact network. There's a scattered network. And there's the borrowed network. 3 types of network. Let's see what type of network you have. The compact network. This is primarily for those that are early career. This means a compact network is everyone in the network knows everyone else. They're friends and family. They could be colleagues from school. Maybe you're in a fraternity or a sorority. The beauty of a compact network in early career is that it helps to build credibility. Maybe you don't have a lot of work history. Maybe you don't have a lot of work experience, but because you worked on projects in school with some of your fraternity and or sorority sisters, or because you worked at an intern and you worked on a project, this is your compact network. These are people that you know already that can speak to your credibility, your business acumen, how you work, how your personality is, the way that you perform. This is a compact network. And generally speaking, this is the type of network that you have early in your career. This is where everyone in the network knows everyone. So if you had internships or your first job, right? Maybe two of the people you went to college with, y'all start working at Microsoft together or at Amazon. That's your compact network. And maybe Tom and I start working at UPS together. And he says, and I said, you know what, Tom, I really want to go into finance. He said, oh, I know Jim over there. So Tom is my compact network. Can you make an introduction? That's what you leverage. That's how you leverage your network. And early in your career, you want to build your credibility. This is the way to do this. They don't know me. Tom knows me, but they don't know me. So I'm leveraging my compact network, someone I know, someone I went to school with, someone I'm very familiar with, someone that can speak on my behalf, someone that can speak to my credibility. That's a compact network. And this is something that you use early in your career. Let's keep going. The next type is a scattered network. This is typically used during mid-career. And this is when several people within your network, you have 7 people within your network, but they don't know each other, right? So we got Robin and Tom and Tivia and Stacy and Brittany, right? We're all in the same network. We all do professional development together, but we don't know each other. We all meet on Tuesday and we all have talk. We talk, we meet at Starbucks, but we don't know each other. Generally speaking, a scattered network is you leverage that when you're mid-level career. And this relates to independent relationships. Again, it's me and Tivia and Robin and Tom and Brittany, right? Independent relationships. I don't know Robin, but Brittany's does. So in my mid-career where I am, the stage that I'm at in my career, I'm going to leverage my scattered network because I need to beat Robin and Tom. I want to add to my network. I want to add to my what's called social capital, make those deposits, right? And we can talk, I talk with my clients about this, but that's another piece to this, right? So mid-career, you're leveraging your scattered network by getting someone that you know independent of everyone else, right? And you're meeting those people independently. Now, the beauty of a scattered network is you don't have the redundant information. Remember, when we talked about the compact network, that email, you probably get that email about that open opportunities 3 or 4 or 5 times. But when you are in a scattered network, the beauty of it is you're going to be the only one getting that message from Tom. You're going to be the only one getting that message from Tivia. Robin and Brittany and Tom and Sarisa, they're not getting it. They don't get it because they don't know you. Right? And a scattered network is also when you're in a work environment, and let's say you have people that work in New York and you have people that work in Alabama, you know of them, but they don't know each other. Right? Sarisa works in Alabama and Brittany works in New York. You know Sarisa and Brittany, but Brittany and Sarisa don't know each other. That's your scattered network. Y'all with me? All right. The last one is a borrowed network. This is the one when you typically use this late in your career. And this network is several people within your network, but they don't know each other. Initiates indirectly through someone else. So a borrowed network is typically just like you see in this picture here. Let's say this gentleman with the black hair introduced the guy with the glasses to the lady, right? Hello, how you doing? Right? He's borrowing the guy with the black hair's network. Hi, how you doing? Oh my gosh, I watch you all the time and da 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 da. He's now adding to his network. He's borrowing this guy's network. Now, late in your career, why would you need a borrowed network late in your career? One, it expands your relationships. And I'm going to stay here for a minute because most of you all are mid to late career. It expands your relationships. Right? They tell the story that when Oprah was she was working at the news channel, right? And someone saw her and asked her to come anchor another news channel. And then she wanted to do something else. So she had her Oprah show, right? And so she was getting tired of the show, but then she said, you know what? I need to do something else. And so she got introduced, borrowed network, to this guy. His name escapes me right now. She got introduced to the guy, but they call him Piranha. He's an attorney. And the guy said, you know what, Oprah, you need to own this. You need to own this show. She's like, what are you talking about? I can't own a show. Are you kidding me? He's like, oh, yeah. Yes, you can. You need to own your show. And so, of course, the rest is history. It's not Harpo Productions or what have you. But because she leveraged her network, she met this guy. The guy said, you need to own the show. And the rest is history, y'all. I can go on and on. There was a guy that worked, the CEO of American Express. What's his name? Ken Chenault, 2001 to 2018. The reason why he became CEO is because of his predecessor, who was his mentor. They leveraging the network, y'all. And it gets you there quick. No application, no going through all these different panels and interview, first, second, third, fourth round. They're speaking on your behalf. They're sharing your credibility. They know how you work. They know how you perform. They know the business acumen. Leveraging your network is powerful. Each of you have family members. Each of you have colleagues. Each of you have team members. Each of you know of other people, but you may or may not have reached out to them. You know who the key players are in your organization, whether they're VP, CEO, CHRO, director, mid-management level, or executive assistant. You may know of them and you know that they're well connected. There's another story about an executive assistant. Her last name is Burns. I think Ursula Burns. Y'all Google her. She's now CEO of something. But she was executive assistant to a Xerox CEO. He liked her work, hired her. She leveraged his network. She borrowed his network, started working for when he retired, started working for someone he knew. And y'all read the story. She just borrowed his network. Borrowing a network is where most of us are right now. I have a coach, and you all know I have a couple of coaches, and every quarter we do we get together, And so again, I'm still kind of a work in progress when it comes to putting myself out there. I guess that's kind of contradicting since I'm on video, but I'm telling you the truth. So the coach, my coach was like, okay, y'all don't just sit in the room, like get out, don't get on your phone. Because typically I would just get on my phone, right? And so I'm like, you know what, Kelly, come on. If you're going to do this, you can't be telling people to do this and you ain't even do it. So I'm like, okay, bet, I'm going to do it. So I put my phone in my purse and I went out on the patio. And there was a couple out there, and, they come every time. And so I said, I sat down and, started talking. And the conference was over and whatever. And so maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, she called me. We had exchanged numbers. And she said, hey, I know somebody that's looking for, I think he was looking for an assistant at the time. I told them, because I have a staffing agency, right? And I told them about you. Do you want me to, send your contact? I was like, yeah, that's fine. Long story short, got business from him. Not only did I get business from him, he's introduced me now to 4 other people. 4 other people, y'all, just because I got up and went on the patio and decided that I need to get out of my shell. If I'm going to do this, and if I'm going to be teaching other people to do, I have to do it. I can't talk about the things that I haven't experienced or done for myself. Borrowing networks, you all, is key. Now, I will say this. Before I go there, let me go back. I will say this. All of these, having a compact network, having a scattered network, and having a borrowed network, is all encompassing. You're going to have a little bit of all of this. One is not better than the other. What we've seen in studies that have been done, that's the reason why I put early, mid, and late career. So as you are in your late career and you're borrowing networks, it gets you there faster, 1. 2, the types of networking that you want to do or the type of people that you want to connect to, typically late in your career, they're already at the level you want to be. They're not striving to get there, right? And so how do you do these things? First, you determine what type of network do you have currently. And again, there's no right or wrong. There's no bad or good. You just should identify, what do you have currently? You know what? I have colleagues at work. I have people I work with, and we chat. Every day. I have I see them. So I think right now, Kelly, I have a compact network. Cool, that's fine. So what is your goal then? You know what? I think I really need to get to that scattered network. In order for me to get to where I want to go, I need to know other people that don't know the people in my network. I need that because I need to diversify my network. And I'm going to show you why in a second. Or you may say, you know what, Kelly, I'm in a scattered network right now. I know a few people that don't know each other, but I really need to borrow because I need to get there a little bit quicker. Where I'm going, I need to get there a little bit quicker. So I need to borrow other people's network. I know this director where I'm currently working, and he's a key person. He knows all of the C-suite. And I really, really need to get connected to that CTO because that's where I aspire to be one day. So I need to really expand and get to a borrowed network. So first determining where you are, identifying, I should say, where you are, and then determine where you want to go. That will help you to figure out which network, where you are now, which network that you have, and what type of network are you trying to acquire. And again, we all have all 3. None is, neither is better than the other. Let me share this with you.